President Trump and Joe Biden trading barbs as they battle for support in Pennsylvania. It's a key state. Biden taking aim at Trump on the economy and the president firing back. Watch.
Under my administration, we're reversing years of failed trade policies that crushed Pennsylvania's middle class. Companies are pouring back into our country. They want to be where the action is. They're pouring back, including the auto companies.
Just look at the facts, not the alternative facts. President Trump inherited an economy from Obama-Biden administration that was given to him, just like he inherited everything else in his life.
Guy Benson is the political editor of townhall.com and a Fox News contributor. Ben Kissel is the co-host of two podcasts called Abe Lincoln's Top Hat and The Last Podcast on the Left. Is that true? The last one?
The final one. Yeah, that's
you get the last word.
Yeah.
I'll give you the first word here.
All right.
Pennsylvania, these two are going to, if Biden were to get the actual nomination, no matter what, Trump's going to be in Pennsylvania, but
right.
Biden or whoever it is going to have to be there. It's a key state.
Yeah, well, Pennsylvania was one of those states that Donald Trump was able to surprise a lot of people by winning. I think this is going to be a tough message for Donald Trump to try to outposition himself or to try to position himself as the everyman, the person that can be, the person that folks in Pennsylvania can relate to the most. I mean, that's like the sheriff of Nottingham pretending to be, one of the folks. Let's not forget he got $1 million loan from his father. This guy does not know the folks of Pennsylvania nearly as well as Joe Biden does. So I actually think this is a losing battle for the president.
But on the other hand, Guy, the economy is better, obviously. That's just demonstrable. And you have the fact that he has a record now. He's not just a disruptor. He's a known quantity.
Yeah, speaking of tough messaging, I think if Joe Biden wants to go to voters and pretend that Donald Trump just inherited this great economy, that's not true. He did inherit an economy from Obama and Biden that was the most anemic recovery in modern American history.
Well, let's not forget
since World War II. Let me just finish my point. Yeah. So Trump comes in, he takes over, cuts taxes, deregulates, and the economy's taken off.
Right.
50-year low in unemployment, GDP growth beating expectations, wages growing. A lot of the things that Republicans and Trump promised to do are happening, and the Democrats talked a good game for 8 years and didn't come anywhere close to these types of results.
Okay, so Ben, I'm curious, how do Democrats answer that? Because if I put myself in a Democrat's shoe and think, like, how would I spin that? I don't know how you get away from the fact that there was tax reform and the dereg stuff, and then all of a sudden the economy takes off.
Right. I mean, of course, the economy took off under Obama as well. I mean, he inherited a recession,
yes,
for crying out loud, and did,
but
he helped recover. The economy recovered.
Slowest recovery
under Obama. Also, we have to remember what's going on right now with this trade war regarding the Chinese. This is really going to hurt a lot of the folks in Pennsylvania, and we're going to start seeing the repercussions of that trade war happen in real time, and it's really going to hit people in the pocketbook.
Yeah, right. And there's
right around.
It's not necessarily hurting Wall Street, but is it hurting other folks?
Exactly.
Actually, President Trump addressed the tariffs a little bit last night as well. Listen to this.
One who doesn't want to pay the tariffs has a simple solution. Build your product in America. Bring your factories back to Pennsylvania. Stupid policy and taxes force you out. Under this administration, we're living by two simple rules. Buy American and hire American, right? Simple.
Guy, a lofty goal, maybe more difficult to do in practice.
Right, it's a good applause line, but when you have trade wars and when there are these tariffs imposed, it's effectively a tax increase on the American people because consumers pay more for everything. I think a lot of people are open to the idea that we have to get tougher on China for a number of reasons. We're also picking trade fights with other countries, which I think is foolish, quite frankly. And when we saw the president's top economic advisor on Fox News Sunday admit recently, yes, there is pain, not just in China, but here as well, I think it's a tricky message to the American people saying, well, the Chinese are hurting worse. They're going to come around eventually. You got to put up with some higher prices.
There's a lot of Democratic support for President Trump's position, including Chuck Schumer.
This is, I'm going to coin a term here, schadenfreude economics. That's what's happening right here, where they said, yeah, we're struggling. Sure, we're going to get hit a little bit with the trade war, but look how bad they're doing over in China. This doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the Chinese, they haven't addressed the main issue with the Chinese, which is intellectual property.
That's part of it,
they continue
That's what they're doing this
to steal. So this is really, I just don't think it's a win for Donald Trump and the people that support him.
We don't have much time left, but the Quinnipiac poll that just came out within this hour, 48% of people saying that they approve of Trump's handling of the economy. That's that's about in line with what it has been before. The policy towards China, 40% approve, 50% disapprove. We'll see if that changes now that Democrats are out on record. And on trade, 39% to 53%. But the weird thing is, Guy, that the Democrats who would be running against President Trump, except for Biden, all have the same positions as he does on China and trade.
Right. Biden was talking about how it's strange to call China an adversary or a competitor, which I thought was an off note for Biden. But, yeah, you mentioned Chuck Schumer. You know, when Trump's out there taking the hard line on tariffs and trade with China, Schumer's on Twitter rooting him on. So there's some discordant messaging, I think, really from both parties, given their historical stances on these issues. But
times change, and we'll have to see. Last word to you?
Honestly, when it comes to people taking our jobs, we should look at India a little bit more than China, because that's really affecting a lot of people working in this country.
All right. And don't forget artificial intelligence. We have a story about that coming up
that's a whole other thing
as well. All right. Guy Benson and Ben Kissel, thank you.